Oh. This bag is heavy. All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new YouTube video. Today we're gonna be talking about what is in my camera bag. I know this is a pretty popular topic for a lot of photographers. For me, I love watching these kinds of videos because it's cool to see all the little knickknacks all the way up to the expensive gear that photographers and filmmakers decide to carry in their bags. For me, I've been using the same backpack for the last couple of years now, and the gear has definitely changed over the years, so I figured it'd be a great time to update you guys on some of the new gear that I've decided to pick up as of recent. Let's not waste any more time, roll that intro, and then let's get into what's in my camera bag. Before we kind of get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that everything is going to be linked down in the description. So any of these items, if you're interested, I'm going to do my best to find them on Amazon or B&H, wherever I can find them. So if you guys want to check out any of the products, they'll be linked down below. So starting things off as far as bags go, this is the Peak Design Travel Pack. So this is a 45-liter travel pack tailored towards people who are travelers or want kind of that one bag travel system. I do occasionally use this actually for like a one bag travel scenario. They have the multiple different camera cubes that you can put in here, as well as the clothing cubes, and it just works really well. I love the side pockets. It's so durable. I've taken this to over probably 20 countries, I would say, and it has held up always. Really durable. Honestly, no problems at all with this bag. I love it. It's the first camera bag I think that I don't have any complaints about. Just super happy with all the padding and easy accessibility to everything in this bag. Love all the different pockets and the different camera cube sizes for the amount of gear that I need to carry. Right now I have the large camera cube in here, but they also come with a small and medium-sized camera cube as well, and then you can kind of configure it to your liking as far as what stuff you're going to be needing for your specific trip. And I think that kind of works best for me because I do need a bag that I can kind of switch up for different kind of traveling scenarios. Usually this is pretty much packed to the brim though, and I love how much gear I can fit in here if I need to. But at the same time, I can also pack just some clothes in here, some random stuff for a day trip somewhere, and it's not going to, just be uncomfortable or unpractical. I can take the entire camera cube out and literally just use it as a backpack as well. So really, really happy with this bag. I think Peak Design just nailed this. This is my absolute favorite camera bag. I was using the everyday backpack for a while, but I decided to switch over to this, I'd say a little over a year ago, and I have no regrets. Super happy with this bag. So Peak Design, if you're watching, you guys made an amazing product. So first things first, we have the Fuji Gfx 100. This is kind of the crown jewel of my camera arsenal. As you guys know, if you've watched any of the last couple of videos, you see that I picked this up about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago by the time this video is out. I absolutely love this thing. I'm still learning a lot as far as Fuji cameras and the Fuji system. There's a lot of different, differences versus something like a Canon system, which I've used for the better part of 6 or 7 years. But this camera is incredible. The image quality is second to none. The 102 megapixel medium format sensor gives you just incredible images. The color is amazing. I love the IBIS in camera. And the best part is the articulating EVF, which I think is so handy, especially when you're a taller person like me and you're able to just look down. It's kind of like a waist level viewfinder. It's really helpful. This camera is incredible. I'm really excited to continue to test it out and provide some more videos for you guys, but this is obviously my camera bag. So as of right now, I only have one lens. This is the Fuji 45mm f2.8 GF lens. Really beautiful lens. I really love the bokeh at 2.8, even on medium format, it has a really, really nice bokeh. I love the focal length. This is roughly a 35 to 36mm equivalent on the GFX system, and I'm really happy with it. I'm going to be picking up the Fuji 110mm f2 lens here in the next couple days. So that paired with this, I think that will cover most of my bases, I think, as far as any photography projects go. But yeah, I've been loving this lens. This is the lens that I decided to pick up with the actual body when I first purchased it, and I'm really happy with it. So obviously I film a lot of YouTube videos for this channel, and right now my go-to camera is actually the Canon Eos R. I love this thing. I love how small and compact it is. Well, honestly, my favorite feature of it is actually this variable ND adapter. So essentially what it does is it allows you to attach your EF lenses to the RF mount, just like so. This is the Sigma 20mm f1.4, and literally it has this cool little ND filter that you just slide in right here. Click in, and then now all of a sudden you have a built-in ND, and you can put any EF lens on this mount, which I think is super helpful. And for me, this is a game changer as far as videos go, because I always try to make it as smooth as possible, especially if we're outside shooting in really harsh light. It's as simple as just going like this with the ND filter built into the actual mount itself. As far as the Canon EOS R goes, I love the flip out screen. Obviously, that means I don't need to use a monitor. And this 20mm lens when I shoot in 1080p is just long enough that if I hold it like this, I can get a nice clean image on my camera, and it's not too close. It's the perfect distance for me. Obviously my hand is pretty long, my arm, you know, can get it way out here, but I love this camera. This setup works really well for me. I love that I'm able to stop down to 1.4 on the Sigma 20mm lens. 20mm for me is a very just kind of ideal focal length, I think, for these YouTube videos. So if I'm pairing that 20mm lens with something like this 85mm image stabilized f1.4 lens, I kind of have all my bases covered. I shoot in usually 1080p actually for the EOS R. It looks great, especially when you upscale it to 4K. I don't have any problems with the quality. I think it looks great. I don't love the 4K mode just because it crops so much. Even when I'm shooting on something as wide as a 20mm lens, it's pretty cropped in, so I tend to stick to 1080p, but it looks great. And I usually kind of switch between this 85mm and the 20mm lens. So also in this camera bag, I have my trusty Contax T2. As you guys know, I've owned a couple of these over the years. I was pretty sad to sell my other Contax T2, well, it was probably 6 months ago, but I really missed having one, so I decided to pick one up again. These things are getting very pricey, and I honestly it's not really necessarily worth the money. For me though, I really enjoy having such a small, simple camera. It's a point and shoot 35mm camera. It takes 35mm film, and you can plop any of it in here. It reads the DX coding on the actual film strip, so it just adjusts your ISO accordingly. It's pretty much W proof, and I love it for that because I can just, you know, bring it anywhere with me. If I'm going to get some drinks with friends, if I'm gonna go home to Seattle for the weekend, if I'm just gonna go, you know, walk around LA, this camera is good for all of that, and the image quality is great. It has this 38mm f2.8 lens, which is a Carl Zeiss lens, so you can't really go wrong with that. Carl Zeiss is obviously very well known for their incredible image quality and their lenses. I'm just really happy with this camera. I think, you know, this is one of the more heralded 35mm point and shoot cameras, and I'm super happy with the quality. If you guys are interested, you can actually go check out the link in my description if you want to learn more about shooting with this camera and a variety of other 35mm cameras. I created a cool little online workshop. It's about an hour and a half of interactive video content. You guys should definitely go check that out. It's linked down in the bio. Appreciate all of you guys who have bought one so far. Another thing I love about this Contax T2 is the actual strap that attaches to the camera, as well as this little carrying case. You can literally just slip it around your wrist like that and it's not gonna go anywhere. For me, that's great because I tend to drop things that don't have straps on them, so this is nice for that. And especially if I'm on a work trip, I'm bringing the GFX or I'm bringing, you know, my video gear. I want to be able to just bring a super simple point and shoot film camera that I can just, you know, take some cool photos with and have some memories. I don't bring any of the other kind of bigger medium format cameras that I have just because I'm gonna be focused on shooting with the cameras that I have. And the more cameras that I bring, I just, you know, tend to not use them. So I try to bring as little cameras as possible, but this usually always finds a way into my camera bag just because of how easy it is to use and, you know, how practical it is. So next year I have, really exciting, some chargers for the Canon LP-E6 battery charger, as well as the Fuji charger. I really wish this came like in a dual charger because the batteries on the GFX do not last very long. And I'm probably just gonna have to pick up a couple of these chargers just so I can kind of plug them into, you know, like a power socket and be able to charge multiple batteries at once. But that's really my only complaint as far as batteries go with this. So as far as accessories go, this is the Peak Design Tech Pouch. I've been using this for a long time now, pretty much ever since it came out. The second I saw the advertisement for it, I was like, I have to have that. I love pouches. I love, you know, having a place for everything. All my camera gear needs to be nice and organized. I get a little OCD about it, and this helps a lot with that. But yeah, you open it up like this, and it kind of opens up kind of like origami style, which I really enjoy. And then there you can just kind of see all of the gear that you might need. For me, I kind of carry a variety of things in here normally. I got my SD card reader. This is a pro grade SD card reader. Highly recommend this one. It's super fast and it has 2 UHS 2 slots, so it works really well, USB-C, all that fun stuff. In here I also have my Sekonic light meter. I usually like to check and see either the in-camera meter is working, or if it doesn't have one at all, then obviously I need this. And it works really well. It's a spotlight meter, so you can go like this and, you know, just read the light wherever you're at. It's really accurate and I've never had a problem with it. Highly recommend. Here I have my Pelican SD card case. I also have one of these for my CFast cards, but being I sold my 1DX, I don't really need CFast cards anymore. So we have just a lot of SD cards in here. These are the Lexar Professional 300 megabit a second cards. really, really fast. You can record 4K on it, and you can especially write those 102 megapixel massive files on the GFX to this with no buffer whatsoever. So these are really nice. They're very expensive, but I think, you know, obviously when you're shooting on cameras that require the memory card that, you know, is insanely fast, so you can't really do much about that. So I would definitely recommend picking up some really fast SD cards. You know, the slower your memory cards get, the more you're gonna have to buffer, and that's not fun for anybody. Especially when you're shooting video, it won't allow you to shoot anything past a couple seconds. So make sure you're shooting on fast enough SD cards. You know, look up the camera manufacturer and see what is required to shoot, you know, 4K, 4K 60, 4K 30, all those different frame rates. That's super important. So I got these fast cards here in this Pelican case. This thing is pretty much everything proof. The last one of these I had for, you know, 4 years. I still have it. So these things pretty much never break, and I couldn't recommend them enough. Also in here I have my cable release. This is mostly for my medium format camera. So what this means is I just plug this into the side of either my Mamiya 7 or my RZ67, and I'm able to set it on a tripod and shoot longer exposures with it. Whereas normally I would try to have to handheld it or press it on the tripod, and usually that creates some sort of vibration, and chances are your photo is going to be blurry. So it's really nice to be able to just plug this in, click it like this, and you're good to go. So I always keep this here with my camera, especially when I'm shooting on my medium format film cameras. This is always in my camera bag. Next, I have this kind of USB-C dock dongle sort of thing. I'm living in that dongle world, obviously, as all you guys are. It's not super fun, but stuff like this makes it a little bit easier. This is the Hyperdrive. It's not my favorite, but it works. And it has kind of this extra layer of protection right here. So you plug this into the headphone jack, and this goes into the USB-C port, and then it doesn't really move. So it's pretty sturdy, does the job, but I don't really love how like kind of cheap and plasticky it feels, even for like $75, I think is what this thing was. But it does the job. It has USB-C pass-through, HDMI, 2 USB ports, micro SD and SD card slots, as well as a headphone jack pass-through as well. So it gets the job done, but it's not my favorite one. I gotta find a new one of these. So if you guys have any recommendations for a USB-C dongle or hub, hit your boy up. Finally in here I have my MacBook charger, nothing too special. I use this actually to charge our Ronin S as well, just because it's USB-C. I love how everything's all universal now. You can just charge everything with everything. And this being the highest voltage power brick that I have, usually I charge the Ronin with this, and anything else that is USB-C, it's nice to just plug it into this and it works just as fine. So this is my MacBook of choice. This is the 2019 8-core i9 model. It has 2 terabytes of internal storage, 32 gigs of RAM, dedicated graphics card, pretty much everything I need to get all of my work done. It works really well in Lightroom as well as Final Cut, which are the 2 programs I mainly use for photo and video editing. Even with those GFX files, it works pretty damn well. Like, I haven't had a super big problem. It definitely sometimes needs to buffer because some of those files are over 300 megabytes per photo. So they're very massive, but this computer does a great job of handling everything that I need from it. Love the USB-C ports, and it's nice and fast. The internal storage in this MacBook is great as well. It's that NVMe storage, so it's nice and fast, and I can work on projects internally on this computer as well as externally on SSDs. So it's nice to be able to just drop a video project on here or a photo project and get all that done. And then when I'm finished with the project, I can just transfer it over to a external SSD or hard drive. So in the front of the bag here, I kind of have my AirPods. These are the Gen 1 AirPods. I want to get those AirPod Pros at some point, but I mean, honestly, these work pretty well. Usually use these for conference calls, listening to music, a lot of podcasts. Throughout the workday, I take a lot of phone calls, so it's really nice to be able to just talk on the phone with these and be able to walk around. I'm not one that can sit down and talk on the phone, so I always need to be walking around, and these are great for that. In here as well, I have my Anker battery pack. This is the 26,000 milliamp hour, 27,000, something like that. Battery pack. The cool thing is it has USB-C as well, so I can charge my MacBook with this. It does a pretty good job. I can't really be doing anything while I charge with this. I just need to kind of plug it in and close the MacBook and let it charge. It does a pretty good job. I can get up to like probably 30 or 40%, I would say, and that's better than nothing. So I always bring this thing with me, and if I'm just charging my phone or my iPad, it's definitely going to be able to charge those multiple times. It's very heavy, but for me, I'd much rather have more battery power than not, because I feel like I'm always running out of battery on one of my devices, so this is really helpful for that. And last but not least, I have my Bose Qc 35 headphones. I've had these for a couple years now. These are the version 1s. Honestly, they're great. I have no complaints. Noise canceling on an airplane is pretty much a necessity. When you fly as much as I do, which I've flown almost 130,000 miles this year, you need some great headphones, and these are perfect for that. I mean, they fit right nice and snug on the ears, really comfortable, and they charge very quickly. So if I even plug these in for about an hour, I'll be able to get a lot of hours of use on this. I don't know exactly the amount, but it seems to be like whenever I plug these in, they just instantly start working for several hours on the plane, which is what I need. And they're great. They just fold up really nice and small, and I can put them in my backpack. And I have the cable as well, which I could plug into the airplane and watch movies. So these are great. I would highly recommend, if you guys travel a lot, get yourself a great pair of noise canceling headphones if you don't have them already. So that kind of wraps up camera gear as far as that goes. But as far as clothing and everything else, normally I carry those in these Away suitcases. As you guys know, Away is a sponsor of the channel, and honestly one of my favorite brands just out there in general. I really enjoy using their luggage, and I think it's just so efficient, well designed, and it just honestly never breaks. I've had luggage in the past break at the airport, either whether that be it snaps or something rips. It's not fun to deal with. You gotta buy one of those super cheap suitcases at the airport, and it's just not fun to deal with at all. I've never had an Away suitcase break on me, and they just fit a lot of stuff, especially this new expandables collection. So essentially what you can do actually is they're kind of going after the one bag travel sort of vibe, where you can open this top part right here, and then you can see everything that's inside. You can fit a laptop in here, you can fit a tablet, you can fit other clothing items on the actual front of your bag, so you don't have to open the entire bag and try to dig into it at the airport. That's kind of annoying. You can just open this front little flap right here. It's kind of like a little folder style sort of flap opening, and then you're good to go. You can just grab whatever you need and zip it right back up. I love how they also include Tsa Locks with all of the bags. So literally all you do right here is just click these into place, and then you can set your code, and now you know that your luggage is actually going to be safe. Nobody's going to be able to get into this. It's just going to kind of prevent people from trying to break in. And also on the bottom here, it's called the Expandables collection for a reason. So what you can do is actually unzip this right here, and now you're going to get even more storage. So it kind of expands. Expandable collection, it's expanding. It's giving you some more storage. And I've actually found this to be super useful. I've already taken these bags on a couple of trips, and I've really enjoyed using these bags. If you guys are interested in checking out any of Away's luggage, I'm going to have a link down in the description. You guys can receive a discount code, which their luggage is normally almost never discounted. So definitely go check that out and see if you guys are interested in purchasing anything that they have on their website. I personally am a huge fan of their luggage, and thank you so much to them as always for sponsoring my videos. Thank you so much to you guys for watching. If you guys want to check out anything down in the description, I'm gonna have links for everything. So go check that out. As always, thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.